Oh wow. Okay.
Where's the link being posted? I
Uh,
was just looking
just
for
a
it.
second.
I'm happy to do that if you just give me a second.
There it is.
Okay, I'm just gonna deafen myself. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna pull this up on my phone.
Yeah, it's all good. It's very, very. Oh God, I can still hear it. There we go. It's good.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well.
I got it up and muted in the background, so. Ah.
Perfect.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Let me.
Oh yeah, YouTube text. Forgot that existed.
Well, I brought it up in case somebody uses the chat. Figure that might come up.
Yeah, true. I'll do the same, just in case.
The chat will hopefully be where people can ask questions once they know everyone that's here. Okay, so there's only
You can pop out chat, by the way.
What?
You can pop it out. Apparently, you can pop out chat, so you can have it as a separate thing.
Oh.
Quite handy.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, hopefully we'll get some people who want to ask some questions. And if not, we can just talk about projects, play the games that Rachel has planned, and then have the the real mental health moment. So welcome if there's anyone listening that's not in the call. This is this is going to be our first live stream. Never really done this before, so we're just going to figure it out. So let's see. We have, who do we have? Chords. Whoa. Sorry. It showed up really big. And he is your inner voice one, right?
What?
Your inner voice one, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
For someone in someone's head, I am damn loud. So.
Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. Can y'all see that?
Oh wait, one sec.
Oh yeah, I can see that up there.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Look
So
at it, it's all tiny, right up on the top.
That's
Yay!
me.
Yeah.
Mate,
Yeah.
professional. Not bad.
Okay.
This is the moment you know you've made it right here. Oh, that got bigger.
That's me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No, only chords. This is the chord stream. Yeah. Main and only attraction right here.
And we have CW Garrett, who is Dustin in circle.
Yay.
Cool. All right. I'm trying to go in order. This is interesting. Okay. And then I guess we have us as KASEsystem. Oh. And we're the owner / director /
Morty, you don't exist.
You're
a myth.
Then we have Morty, and they are the stalker.
Yes.
We have Rachel, and she does a lot of things.
I am a lot of things, yeah.
Put all afterwards. Dash all.
UX and writer, and please
The
cancel.
main ringleader of this whole. Can't swear.
Cat
Okay.
wrangler, maybe?
Yeah, I'll do. Cat wrangler.
And then we
It's a similar sound in the meetings, I'll tell you that.
Mm,
and then we have Tonks, who is an artist.
I think traditionally a ringleader
Cute
was more
cats, I
like.
can't wrangle them.
I was thinking
Yeah.
like a circus.
Yeah, but I think a ringleader used to be more of like sort of almost like a referee in professional wrestling now, where they'll help determine what stage to move into, and they're kind of directing the whole thing. It implies a level of professionalism in the rest of us that I think is just
Oh.
giving us way too much credit, is what I'm saying here.
I thought you meant there was going to be a fight.
You
I'm
would like
waiting on
that,
that,
wouldn't
mate. Yeah, I'm waiting on that.
Okay.
Seems like some more people may be on their way as well, which is good.
Yeah, I'm going to share this real quick and then.
People talking about would you be paid what 10 quid an hour to clean a cemetery from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Yeah, I'd get paid £10 an hour to do anything, mate. I don't care. Cash money, innit?
Let's see. It was 10
Anything?
p.m. to 5 a.m., so 7 hours. £70 a day. I'm guessing tax free, since the question is are you okay with being haunted?
Well, yeah, but I mean, 70 quid, isn't it? Mans can't complain. It's COVID times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there aren't anyone there anyways, so
I mean,
all the
actually,
ghosts have to
mate,
stay 5 feet away. So
that'd bring a whole new meaning to me listening to metal at work, wouldn't it?
would it?
Yeah, full of death.
It's true.
Well, if you listen to death metal, then yeah.
All metal in a graveyard's death metal.
All metal, so even like structures that have metal on them.
Yes, everything. You can't. You have like a filling? No, you're dead.
I do appreciate that we are apparently very much a group of absolutists here.
I don't even know what that means.
Anytime we say all, it means all.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we are very
Yeah.
inclusive here.
I wouldn't have it any
That's-
other way.
It's a nice way
Literally
to put it.
inclusive. We include
Inclusive.
everything into everything.
There you go.
If you don't agree with us, you're wrong. Get out.
No,
what
we
is
include
it?
everyone.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute. If you don't agree with us, you're wrong. Stay here.
Yeah, we have
Close enough.
a separate space for people who disagree, but they're all together.
That's called prison. Come stay in
As long as they're
Australia
here, it's fine.
with us. I'm sorry in advance about this stream, by the way.
That's okay. So I actually do have an interesting question. Just for the VAs, like when you were initially either auditioning or asked to voice whichever one it was, and you like saw the description of the character you were doing and like saw what it was going to be like, what was your initial reaction?
Who wants to
You
go
can go
first?
around, so start with chords, I guess.
Oh shit. Oh, it's no. I tried so hard. It's only been how many minutes in?
9. The answer's
9.
9.
Right. I'm not sure, to be honest. I sort of saw it and thought, oh, the person who's already got the role for, because there's 2 inside voices. The other was another British lady, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I think I could sound like a male counterpart. That'd be quite cool. And yeah, so I signed up trying to do exactly what she did, and because there were like 6 or 7 different takes from her, it's completely different types, like different types of voices, different ways of doing things. I was like, oh God Christ! So I posted up like 4 different ones as well, and I'm sorry for having to make you all choose.
That's perfectly fine. We prefer it that way.
Oh, I'll quote you on that when I audition for the next one.
Okay.
And how about yourself, CW Grant?
Yeah, I put in, and I don't know if who it was, but originally I didn't get it, but whoever got offered had to hopefully politely decline. And apparently somebody pulled for me pretty hard, which is cool. And then I came on, and it's funny because I think that might have been the first like properly cast thing I had been chosen for.
Really?
If that makes any sense. I'd
Nice.
fallen into other stuff and like done things, but I had never before put in an audition and had someone go, "Ah, yes, we chose you out of the auditions." So that was neat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I was just excited, and I don't know why, but I do kind of like doing villains, so I was very excited, and
We all do.
I think
We all
I
do.
think I might have lost the thread in here somewhere, but I'm gonna stop talking now.
Yeah, for me personally, I been doing voice acting for 3 years now in January, and I usually scour, and there's a lot of projects that I just look over and I'm like, no, that's not for me. But what really excited me with this project is that it seemed very professional, even though it's not like it's a huge studio that they did, but it still looked very professional, which I always enjoy. I prefer it when people who have the projects are professional about it. And there was this character called Stalker, and I was like, huh, well, I'm not sure how mom is going to react when I'm like, hey, I am playing a character called Stalker, but I like CW, like playing villains, and it was a voice I am comfortable doing. So I went for it, and like the others here, was really happy when I got it.
Cool. Sorry, I was interested to know just because like obviously there are a lot of people to look through, and um we've we've been working together just for like how many months has it been? I mean, August.
I think
It's
7,
been months, isn't it?
Yeah,
depending.
yeah. So
Are you happy with the choices you've made?
Say no, I dare you.
We have you on a recording.
If you weren't happy,
Right.
would you recast me?
What?
Right?
Yeah, I just really wish I could have recast Inside Voice 1. Damn it.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
mean,
He's like he does a fine voice, but he's not a good person. So we
No,
should
he's
really
not.
look to get a new person for that one.
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, yeah, I really like the cast that we've put together just because like I mean, like I've told y'all, like it every time I listen to edit an episode, and if it gives me chills, it's like something is right. So like I really like the cast that we have, and I'm really happy with all of the the choices that we made for people. And yeah, I really like it from as a director. So yeah. So
Yeah, you don't usually have too many like callbacks from what I've noticed. It's usually not like, hey, do all of these lines again.
right.
Which like
Mm.
of course I would do that in a heartbeat, but I think it shows that you find people that you think fit with the
Yeah.
different roles.
Yeah, and it's not only that, like, we have faith in your interpretations as well. So it's like, we know you know what you're doing, basically. Which is why we don't ask you to reread it a lot.
It is quite nice as well. Like, I've been in a couple of. Actually, I've got one great big example. I won't go into exactly who it was because, of course, this is online. This is public. But I was in a group of voice actors before, and I'd recorded about 140 something lines for this person, and they came back and said, "Chords, didn't sound like the audition. Do it again." And it was the same. It was the same quality as the audition. It was the same voice as the audition, and I put them side by side. I in fact then sent that person my audition tape and one of the lines I did, which was part of the audition, and showed them they were the exact same line. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not in that spot. But also, because my lines are quite far and in between. Even if you did come back to me and say, "Chords, do it all again right now," I would be quite happy to do that. Especially because I know your guys' tone. You'd probably hit me if you didn't. So
I would absolutely love it if they had then come back and gone, "Oh crap, we meant to cast someone else."
no, I'm so glad they didn't do that. Actually, I'm not sure what I'm more glad happened. Now I think about it.
I mean, that'd be a heck of a story, at least.
Oh, it was.
Casting
and it would
the
have
wrong
been.
person. Yeah. Oops.
Whoopsie daisies. Oh, we thought you were the other Chords VA.
Yeah, right.
There's so many of those.
They have a list of people that they loved and people that they hated, and they accidentally mixed up the lists, and they reached out to you and like, "Oh God, it was that one." Oof.
Oh, sugar. I thought it was Dr. Pepper we were ordering in.
I also love it when any time an audition is like, you know, it's just this giant block of text, and you're going,
Oh gosh.
"This is a minor role. I'm pretty sure you have me doing the whole thing for this audition."
Oh yeah.
But you know they do that on purpose too, right? So they don't have to talk to you afterwards.
Oh
yeah.
You know what's worse? I did this one recently. This was not the one on Casting Call Club, in case anyone's looking, but there was one similar to this, where the audition was a full, about like 20-30 second advert, and I recorded it and sent it in and realized, and I thought, wait a minute, and they came back to me and said, thank you, Chords, that's really good. We'll have to get back in contact with you if that's all right. And I said, great, that's really cool, and I haven't heard from them since. And it's
yep.
and it's like, oh, you just took my voice, didn't you? Oh, sugar.
I'm sure that's illegal.
It's hey, anything is legal as long as you don't get caught.
Amen. The crime is cyberpunk, mate.
But no, I fully believe that happens. I've seen some of the same ones you're talking about on like sites that will remain nameless. I think that's a good but yeah, seen the same thing.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when, you know, we're all independent here, I believe. We're not hired under like a voice acting firm or something like that. So it's way easier than to get taken advantage of for your voice.
Yeah.
Well, it's largely because a lot of people know it's just not worth it to fight. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to. You say stop it, they say no, and then it's like, well, I can either let this go or I can get a lawyer, and that's
Expensive.
a lot of for
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll win a petty fight and won't mean anything about it. Like, it's just hey ho, part of the world, isn't it?
Yep. Well, that's why so far I do none of this with the intention of making any money.
Oh,
This is strictly an opportunity to do a creative endeavor collaboratively with other people, and that is it.
very wholesome. I like it.
I try.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not in this for the money either, to be honest. It's more like it's more wanting to entertain people and wanting to like give them something to enjoy.
Hmm.
I mean, in the end, that's my goal in the sense that I'd like to be an entertainer. Like I do a lot of singing most evenings. I do a lot of voice acting most days, apart from the last blooming week.
Gold.
But
Yep.
yeah. But like in the end, the goal is you see kids watching their cartoons and whatnot, and they're having a whale of a time, loving it, or they're playing their video games and they're loving it, and they go, "Oh, haha, the funny Halo Marine said this," and they'll do like, "Oh, I'm a Halo Marine," no, and you hear them make fun of it and sort of stuff, and it's nice to hear, because like they're having fun making fun, and
Yes.
I'd love to be someone who can facilitate that.
You were trying to move on, Case?
What a shame.
Sounded like it.
Well, then I was gonna actually ask Tonks, when you came across this project, like, what did you think of it? Like, what made you want to make art for it?
It looks very professional. Like
Say again, sorry.
It's very professional.
Okay.
He's still a little bit quiet.
I think you're cutting out a little, yeah. You might need to be a little closer to the mic.
I thought look at that, like Mark said.
Is she just cutting out for me, or is just my audio bad?
No,
I can't hear her
I
either.
think. I think she's
it's,
cutting out a bit.
I don't think it's just that it's
the
quiet,
volume
but
got better, but a little. But
I think there's a bad connection as well.
Yeah, are you on phone, Tonks?
No, I'm on the computer.
Okay.
there we go.
A little
Yeah.
better.
It
That's
might
better.
help if you go to the settings button at the bottom of Discord.
I change some things. I can well, I
Yeah,
try and fix something.
that's cool. It sounds a lot better now either way.
When I saw the project, I thought it looked very professional, very well built. It was like Mark said.
Cool.
But I say if I was an artist, I'd be similar to both of you, I think.
Sounds like a number of people were drawn in just by the look of how the studio was just a very professional forward.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'd love to get into art one day.
My stick figures have polio and rickets, so
Yeah.
as one thing I cannot. No.
Yeah, everyone has something they're good at. That's okay.
And yours is drawing stick figures. Oh, Christ.
So Tonks, what so far, what has been your favorite piece to create for this?
What was my favorite work of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your favorite drawing to
Yeah.
make for?
I like very much the last of Circle.
Ah,
The one will have a lot of things in the background.
yeah,
Mhm.
that
But
one
I
was
like
really.
very much
Sorry.
the train station
Oh
because
yeah,
of the colors.
yeah, the one
I think this
yeah, where the tracks end.
I think these two are my favorites so far.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could draw. I just make my friends that can draw. I just pay them to draw stuff for me. That's what I end up doing.
I just wish I could draw. I usually just go onto Twitter and look at people who can draw because I don't even have any friends who can, dude.
Yeah, Case,
Something.
did you draw your profile picture, by the way, yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funky. I drew mine as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Nice drawing.
For all of you who can't see, it's a selfie.
You made it yourself. There's that.
Yeah, I
That's
guess I could
right.
credit my parents.
I
No,
will
they do
say
the ingredients, but everything else is all you.
that's right. It's like they just got it started. What I was gonna say is, something that I've been really into lately, as far as making art goes, and it's something that we probably, at least the voice actors on here, and probably the directors too, maybe have the ability to do something called data bending, and you turn an image file into an audio file,
Oh.
and then use audio editing software to mess with it in interesting ways.
I've heard of it, but I've never done it.
It can be kind of fun. You can't be too much of a control freak because most of it's random and you have very little control over what actually ends up happening, and you have to be ready for the whole thing to fall apart because you can seriously corrupt the.
It's half the
Sounds
fun.
chaotic.
I am not very technical.
I'm not very technical. I'm codes.
I don't really edit
Dad
my own
jokes.
audio actually, which is something people
Do
get
you not?
surprised over. But I usually let directors and people in that position do that because I'm pretty terrible at stuff like that. So
Oh, even
thank
if
you,
you just
Case, for existing and making all the things sound good.
We try. We try real hard.
I know you do.
No, but yeah. Everyone has their different things. Our art is music and audio editing, so that's where we stay.
Every voice actor needs someone like that, and vice versa. So
Yeah, I am that person for myself. It's, somewhat depressing.
I mean, if you have the talent or the time to learn it, then I would say that is good to learn. Definitely, like if someone is aspiring to be a voice actor, that is one of the skills that would be really nice to learn. I'm just not willing to take a lot of time to learn a whole new thing, which is more like my problem than anyone else's.
Well, and I mean, really, at learning to, or at least, I think learning to get comfortable acting and looking silly and so on and followed by actually learning to act is probably the most useful and helpful.
Don't you mean
I know.
sounding silly more so than looking silly?
I guess a bit of
Sure. Feeling like people are judging you.
both. Yeah, because like as well, I'm not sure if anybody else does this, but in a couple of the games I've worked in, I'm not going to plug them here. Don't worry. Like
This video is sponsored by
Rage Chat. No, so
I
if
wish.
we are, yeah, if we are, I'm very sorry. But yeah, like when you do like all the sort of "oh, you killed me" sounds, you kind of throw your hands up in the air. You do a lot of, I guess,
Oh yeah.
actually acting anyway. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
like it's sometimes it's getting used to just doing those movements and not thinking, God damn, I look like such a moron doing this.
Yeah.
'Cause you
Well-
I mean,
normally will.
I when especially when doing some stuff for Stalker, thank you, Matt, who writes the episodes.
Oh yes.
I also do look crazy because I feel like that does actually help when
Get you in
acting
the
crazy in
headspace.
your voice to like go into it really, especially when it's like such an intense character like that. I feel like it helps to fully go for it instead of like doing half-assed, just like trying to sound like someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. And like learning to just be able to do all the normal acting stuff without moving your head too far, off
yeah.
mic or smack your stand. But like for me, I pull a hard smirk for pretty much every single line, and I can't quite get the voice without doing that. And it is just part of that physical manifestation of what you're trying to go for.
That's just part of being from
Absolutely.
Texas,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
Always got
It's
that
true.
from
It's true.
Yeah, if you don't have
Uh,
a cigarette in your mouth, there's a
Because
problem.
we're so happy.
Yeah.
that is something that I've heard professional voice actors talk about, that just anything you can do with your face to get the sound out that you want, just do it. You don't need to like overthink, like especially since it's in audio form, you don't have to overthink how you're looking. Just like do whatever you can do to get the voice you want out of your face. You know?
Well, yeah, it changes how whatever you're doing resonates and projects out. So
And that's
That's
half
true.
the point of a voice actor, so.
I forget who, but I think I forget who. Somebody I used to know, but they would do a perfect Zoidberg, and it always took just getting a big hunk of cheek in their fingers.
Yeah.
Now that I want to see.
Or like the SpongeBob laugh, like you have to vibrate your Adam's apple to be able to do it right.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, like that.
There you go. Yeah, no, that was pretty good.
So it's really interesting with like if you want to get like a really unique sound out, you like have to do certain things to get it working.
It's always nice though, because it sounds right in the end. If it doesn't, it
Yeah,
sounds pretty funny.
of
So
course.
win-win. Anyways, do you have any more questions?
I don't have any more questions. I mean, do y'all want to ask
Oh, I could
anything?
sit here and
don't-
talk for hours.
Like, yeah.
Right?
Well,
Guess I don't have to.
I did ask CW this before we started, but
Oh.
I was told to wait for now. I was wondering if he could tell me a little bit about Circle, since I haven't been too involved with
What?
that myself.
What my idea was for Ant to be as Dustin and Morty to be as Stalker, and they're both pretend they're their characters meeting in a crossover for the first time. I don't know if anyone else wants to do this, but
I have no input. Do what you want.
I am not against it. I will say I think you are giving me too much credit to make this interesting. It's
Do you want me
pretty
to
much, it
carry
would be
you?
very reactionary.
Oh.
Oh, please carry me. That would be.
Fanfics coming in left, right, and center.
You shouldn't have offered, because I'm going to take you up on that.
If not, then I would just be interested to hear about the project from someone who's involved with it without being the actual like creator of it, because I think that's an interesting perspective as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So when it was first put up for auditions and everything, I don't know exactly what it was that tipped it off, but I kind of had a little bit of a sense of what it was going to be, at least in the very, very broad strokes. But I think it was probably the fact that there was like 4 or 5 characters up with auditions lines that probably helped in seeing some of the story from multiple sides there. But a paranormal investigator, hobbyist paranormal investigator, hears about something, sounds like a good lead, and goes to investigate, and winds up in a lot more than he bargained for. And I think that is a pretty good non-spoilery description that is also accurate.
That
I
sounds
see.
really cool, actually.
Yeah. It's been rather entertaining.
Your character, Dustin, who is he?
I would say I either am or am one of the 2 or 3 main antagonists.
You're the main villain, yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to sound all like, I'm the big bad, sound all like
give
conceited
yourself
or
enough
anything.
credit,
He
man.
definitely is. He definitely is.
You say give yourself enough credit. I still, anytime anybody casts me in anything, I have to resist the urge to be like, seriously, are you sure? Because I don't get it, but okay. Yeah, Dustin is. Let's see. How can I put this in an intriguing way? He is.
He's a collector.
Yes, a collector, and a big fan of the wilderness. Yeah, that too. And a good father, good family man, I would say.
Right.
Not reusing words.
And as I understood it, he is Southern.
Yes, the show is set in the woods in Virginia predominantly so far. I think it's supposed to be Virginia.
Yes. Despite
So,
all of
I
the
got-
crazy
Yeah.
world tour we're going on.
Yeah.
When you're doing
you
your
start-
voice, are you
Yeah.
like pulling from someone you know, or like?
Not no. I was thinking, man, I hope I don't actually know anybody like the character.
No, not like the character, but just the voice.
Oh yeah,
no,
my mate Steve is a mass murderer.
Yeah, exactly. He's you've never met anybody who can get you out of an impound lot faster though. So I get towed a lot. So he's a huge help. It's the only reason I keep him around.
Yeah. Plus the murder fact. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, More I can see him is the idea. No, I born and raised Texas all my life pretty much, other than about 4 or 5 years in a couple other states and a little while in Mexico.
So I bet you've heard a lot of people who sound like him then.
Yes, and it's been a trick. It's been a tricky thing to not put too much of the Texas specifics in there. You get instead of fire and night, it's far and night. So keeping some of that out of it's been tricky.
Yeah, different kind of Southern. Yeah.
Americans.
It's no, and 100%. You don't even know. What you get the boom hour from King of the Hill. Dangle man, I tell you what, don't even understand like dangle half of what these guys are saying. It's crazy.
I feel personally it's easier to go into a voice if you've heard it a lot, like otherwise in your life.
Then why are you playing a murderer?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Wait, hold on.
shall I
Moving on.
try to explain where the tracks end then? Go over there?
Please, yeah.
Because you hadn't known much about it.
Yeah, I hadn't been keeping up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I find really interesting with where the tracks end is that there are 3 episodes coming out every month, and all of those 3 episodes are from 3 different perspectives, which I really enjoy. There is one from the perspective of 2 boys, one from the perspective of my character called the Stalker, and then one from the perspective of the police. They're mostly from the character called Reyes, which is the main police character.
He's very, very like nice. He's a nice American man.
Yeah,
with a very American accent.
Latin American man.
Yeah.
And the 2 boys, Angel or Angel, as Chris calls him, which is the other kid, are the boys, and then there's me, the Stalker. And what basically happens is that something in Stalker's past is haunting him now, and he feels like the only way to end this is to get to the 2 boys, and do whatever you believe that he's doing, or basically kill them.
Yeah.
That's his plan anyways. And the episodes basically have this like there's a lot of things that happen in the episodes that are just like for that specific episode, but there's also always something that moves it further. Like, for example, one of the Stalker episode goes through like his inner voices, Chords is one of them. His inner voices doesn't believe that he has what it takes to do the job, so he has to prove it to them by doing it not to the boys but somebody else. So like every episode, the character of the Stalker or Reyes or the boys always like goes a little bit further forward. And I really enjoy. I hadn't been involved or like heard a lot of projects like this where there's 3 different perspectives. It's really impressive to do that because it's not easy when like you have to progress the story from a lot of different perspectives. So I really appreciate that case. And Kaya and Matt, which are the 3 writers, are doing that because it seems very difficult. So I applaud you for that.
Yeah, it's also really cool because I listen to the releases when they come out, and it's just really cool to see just how everyone else is progressing as well. Because I only really, well, I guess I only really like I'll listen to the other episodes as well, but I won't hear the final recording until it's all done and ready and sorted. And even when like we will go through them, we'll read them, and I'll sort of go, oh, haha, yeah, that's cool. And I'll wait for the actual final release to sit down and go, right, what's this all about? Until, excluding, of course, the ones I'm in, because, of course, I want to do them properly. But, like, the ones that I'm not part of, I'll wait until the final recording and, like, listen to the actual final thing so I can get a proper sort of, what is this whole thing happening over there about, It's really
See,
cool.
and that definitely sounds awesome, and very difficult. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that like Oh, I'd have to wait till it's done. I couldn't like get through a couple episodes and be like, yeah, but like next, what happened like now?
Imagine being in our shoes, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
See,
It's
that's
always
just gotta wait until later.
Mm.
But then do you listen down like a whole single track? Like all the boys or all the stalker and then go to somebody else? Or do you jump around the whole time? Or
Well,
questions.
Yeah,
well, the whole-
that's what a lot of my friends have said, because I usually I of course tell them about the other episodes, but I usually send them directly the Stalker episodes.
Mm.
But they're also like, we have to like pay attention to everything at once. Oh, it's like there is a real story there, with continuity going through all the different episodes from different perspectives. And yeah, like I said, I just think that's so impressive to go for something like that when you're this small independent company. Like really like impressive.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to say, just like with the Stalker episodes, since I mean, we've been editing them, and just when we got the idea that like obviously they're inner voices, when we got the idea to like pan them to the left or to the right and then add the reverb, we were like, this is gonna make people crazy. Like this is gonna just like they're listening in this ear, they're listening in this ear, it's back and forth, it's like what's happening. And we actually just love that. But
Yeah, that's the
whole
point, isn't it?
yeah, but
Crazy.
the whole
I
point
am
of
really crazy.
but
Mm.
but the whole
No,
point of it
sorry.
is like listening from like the first boys episode all the way like all the way through. It's like boys, stalker, police, um, all the way up
Is that a
until
new
this
sentence?
most recent.
Boys stalker police.
But all the way up until this recent one where we obviously did the stalker episode first, and then we will at some point have another police episode, and then we'll have the boys on Christmas. So at this point we switched it up a little bit, but yeah, just listening in order of when they're released so that you get the whole story, because they do follow a timeline
Yeah.
throughout the
Okay.
whole month.
What I really, it's probably the reason I feel this is probably because I am stalker. But even though there are these different perspectives and everything, everyone has this long story. I feel because in a lot of ways, all the episode surround the actions of the stalker. I at least feel like he is, despite being kind of the villain, he is also kind of the main character, which is another really interesting um really interesting way of doing a story, where it actually surrounds this person who's really flawed, not good, of course has his reasons for being the way he is, but that it wasn't just like plopping in these two boys as the main characters and then we'd never hear from the stalker side, but he is actually like a lot of everything surrounds him, and I feel like that's really interesting.
It's like listening to the descent into madness itself, and like you can sort of understand him as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
quite cool.
And I mean, since we're obviously I am a voice actor and I can't talk. It's a great combination, actually.
I found that that's like not the most important part of it,
No.
personally.
Oh, don't say that. Your employers are listening.
We're going to go through more of this later, but since also the studio focuses a lot on mental health, I feel like it's also great showing. Of course, it's an extreme case, but what can happen in a person's head when something traumatic happens in their life. I feel like the story shows that in a really good way. Of course, tragic way, but still, I feel
Well,
like it's really interesting to follow along.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it's any secret. I think most of the people involved are probably largely on the Western Hemisphere, and a lot of the culture over here doesn't really take mental illness and mental health and personal emotional well-being. I don't want to say they don't take it seriously, but it is certainly not something that most people seem to hear about being, hey, make sure you take a minute, and if you need some help, ask for some help, and it's okay, and nobody's going to think less of you for this, and that's it's important, and we should be more that way, but
For
we're
sure.
not.
Because if you don't get the help you need, maybe you end up like the stalker. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Maybe you'll end up
Yeah,
voice acting in
yeah.
a series like this.
That
Yeah.
seems much more likely. This is this is way low level, like normal, not enough attention and friends as a kid kind of mental unwellness. That's relatively
What are you
yeah.
trying to say, huh? Just joking.
Like, goddamn,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
a point.
But
yeah.
yeah, I really enjoy the story, and it's not always. I'm not going to, again, like Kors and Gant earlier, I'm not going to say specifics, but I've been in a lot of like Minecraft role plays and stuff like that, and it's never
Oh gosh.
it's never super interesting. But with a story like this, I really get into it, and I always make sure that I am in the right space of mind to do Stalker, which is not a good space of mind, but it's
Right.
it's what I feel is needed to do it correctly.
I'll get specific. Episode 11, Dustin has a vampire car. Boom!
Wait,
Vampire car?
how have I
No.
missed out on this?
Wow.
When did
What
you
a
get
sales
cars?
pitch.
Right, yeah.
Well, if that doesn't make you want to listen to this, I don't know what will.
See, how do we get there, though? That's the real
Cars.
question.
No, I want to know more about this vampire.
So I made that joke. That was not made. I did not pull that from whole cloth. That I don't know if anybody here is a bad movie fan. I love the movie The Room.
Yeah.
And yes, and Tommy Wiseau actually wanted Johnny to have a flying Dracula car, as he put it. No idea how that would have worked, but if you've seen the movie, you know that's on brand. Yep, that tracks.
Yeah, I definitely could see that happen. For sure.
I think Mr. Tommy Wiseau would be a great Joker.
Oh God, it's already creepy enough, man. I don't want to see him.
I did not
like,
hit
face
her.
paint and stuff.
I
did not. Oh, hi, Mark. God.
Yeah, like definitely with this like laughing when you're not supposed to laugh and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, such a fun movie.
But yeah, I mean, it's really cool to be in like a greater like studio where you know that a lot of other talented people are doing stuff at the same time as you are working on your own project and everything like that, and then it's cool to like, oh shit, the same people who made my thing also made this.
Yeah.
Come on, he's only said it twice. He's doing really, really well. If the pre-streaming talk was anything to go by, and remarkable restraint is all I'm gonna say. Yeah. I am a little bit bummed that I didn't know that where the Track's End was going on when the audition was up, because I have wanted to find something where I could use a creepy voice, but not like a normal like human creepy voice, like a really like alien or demonic kind of voice slithering around in the back of your brain kind of thing.
There
Oh,
are
that's my
plenty of
job,
other
mate.
future
He
projects.
he,
Don't
he
you
wants
worry.
to take your part, Cords. What are you saying about that?
We got to audition first, mate. Oh, you got to keep up with D. D's the other voice, by the way.
Yeah, also
She-
really
yeah.
talented.
Yeah, she seems to get her lines in, by the way, just as a point of note. The second this, like, if there's a script release, you can bank on the same day the lines are going to be in there. It's
Yeah.
weird.
You know what? And that's I need to be better about some of that personally. I think. Oof, that's admirable.
Directors?
I really enjoy this like demented, screwed up, youth, like because like Stalker is in his 20s, just having these like posh British voices going on in his head, just
I don't know
telling
what
him
you're
to
on
do
about,
stuff.
mate.
It's really that's what another thing I really enjoy about Where the Tracks End is there is also some comedy in it, and I really enjoy stories that have both like the macabre but also something to laugh about.
Oh,
The
that
comedy
dark,
that's quite
absurd
That's
humor.
really cool,
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very much sort of kind of humor. Where it's like,
I'm laughing
should
because
I
I'm
be
really
laughing?
uncomfortable, but everything's okay.
Yeah.
Should I
Kind of
laugh
thing,
or
like,
cry?
I'm not
I don't
sure if
know.
I'm supposed to be laughing, but this is kind of funny. Yeah.
Right. Or well, but I mean, have you ever heard of like this? This might sound terrible, but I don't care. I believe this is true. I will die on this hill. That like sometimes when somebody has just had the most horribly, incredibly god awful experience, and it just gets so bad that it eventually becomes funny because it's so absurd. Like the universe has to be so stacked against this person
I just
that
call
for
that buying
them
my
to have
life out.
had. Well, there you think.
It does
Get some
have
memoirs.
it does have a name. What was that again?
Is it German? Because everything
yes.
I feel like every perfect, almost
German.
perfect word is German.
It is German.
Schadenfreude?
Schadenfreude, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, see, that's just it. I'm not talking about being taking joy in somebody else's misery. I'm talking
Yeah,
like
that's a different thing.
yeah. Just like they tell you this long list of horrible things, like, oh yeah, you know, first my neighbor died, but it turns out that, you know, they got shot by their spouse, and then when the spouse went to run away, they ran over the kid. Yeah, and then he ran into a bridge abutment while he was running away, and you're like, Jesus, this is so horrible. Yeah, and the dog was in the car too, and you're just like, oh my god.
That's worse.
Yeah, exactly, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dark humor is the thing for
Oh
a reason.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're
Yeah.
murderers.
I mean, what?
In Minecraft, you have to
In Minecraft.
end
Oh
things with
yeah,
Minecraft.
in
Yeah, that's how
video
you.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's just
Yeah.
it. You get online and you're like, hey, how do I insert crime here in Minecraft? Because then obviously you're not actually asking about it. You want to know about Minecraft.
Yeah. So just don't ever look in my basement, and we're fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Is there
Good times.
is there a thing you have planned, that like an activity or something, Case, you were talking about?
Rachel is gonna do some stuff.
Okay. Rachel.
Yeah,
All
What's
right.
this stuff?
an idea for like well, it's had the idea for like a role swapping game, and so I've like made a little task list sort of thing. But
Oh
I'm
god.
not sure if there's quite enough people for it to be worth it.
Yeah, so let's just do like icebreaker and the other one.
I don't have a pickaxe with me. I'm not very good at those.
Oh.
Boom Tish, I'm the dad of the group. I'm not even the father, man. This is... Oh my god. And it
Hey!
And his guitar
Not a
is
very good
broken.
rim shot, but
Great.
still.
You had to mention it. I didn't touch wood.
The thing is, Quartz, that you try to be funny, but I'm actually funny, so that's where you struggle.
I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, in my years of acting, my first
Wow, Quartz got backed up for once. That never happened.
Don't ever do that. Yeah.
All right,
Oh, bless.
Rachel, it's all yours for a little bit. Rachel, are you there?
It's all
I'm
yours
here.
for a bit.
Okay, yeah, it's all yours for a bit.
I'm not good with icebreaker games, so maybe you could do this.
I'm pretty good at icebreakers. I just don't have my pickaxe with me.
It's not just God.
No, it's in. I could ask you guys,
The game.
and also the director.
Go for it.
This like the dating game kind of situation.
Yeah. So first of all, Rachel, are you single?
Uh,
No, but
do
genuinely.
we have
though,
an HR department?
I feel like I need to see him.
I mean, I don't mind people hating on me, but I am taken.
Oh, damn it. Anyways, so part one of
Quartz is gay,
icebreakers.
so don't worry about it.
I mean, starting to doubt that one, but
You told me about a
anyways.
guy you looked
To
on
the-
Tinder earlier,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I'm by mate.
Let's do the icebreaker, please.
Yeah,
that's a
let's.
good
We're getting into some
So,
dangerous territory. I think.
So that's a good icebreaker for me. Now you know way too much. Moving on to part 2. Let's go from bottom to top because I'm at the top and I'm asking questions. So starting off, Tunks. Just out of curiosity, do you remember the first ever project you've ever worked on?
The first project?
Yeah, the first the first bigger than just yourself.
I think it's a game from the group Dream Project that's been building.
I'm sorry, I did not quite catch that.
It's a game from the Dream Project group.
Right, nice. What was the name of the game?
I don't know if there's a name exactly because the group is Dream Project, but I don't know the name of the game.
Right, understood. Not bad at all. So did you do the art for that?
Yeah, it's a character. There's a different artist, so I made it from one of the characters.
Right.
Avana Savas.
That's not bad. But that's a damn good way to start with a game.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'd love to get in on a game in any capacity.
I'll start advertising for you, mate. It's good.
Sweet.
Moving on straight on up though, Rachel, is this the first thing you've ever directed?
Yes. I mean, okay, so at school we work together to direct things sometimes, and we're involved in our mini dramas at school. But in terms of directing people that aren't working towards something like an exam or something, yes, this is the first one.
Not bad at all. You're doing a damn good job, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Coming from the receiving end. AA. Moving straight on up, I'm just gonna ask the same question all around actually. Just nice and easy, you know what I'm saying? Morty, do you remember the first thing you ever did in voice acting?
The first project or the first
project or
thing I
first thing with a
did?
studio?
The first notable one is actually a YouTube channel called King Crowny, where they have a lot of fan dubs of different comics from multiple like games and just in general like fandoms, like Overwatch, for example, or Harry Potter, things like that.
Not bad.
Where I did the voice for Torbjorn in the Overwatch ones, which is really fun actually, because I started there just when Crowny started the channel, and right now it's at 100,000 subscribers, and some of the ones I am in have a lot of views, which is not something I thought would happen when I joined the project, but it's really fun to see how much it's grown.
Not bad at all. That's really impressive, actually. I think that's a lot more than a lot of people could say for themselves. That's really impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Moving on straight to Case, though. Case,
Mhm.
what have you been doing with your life to get to this point? And is this the first thing you've ever properly owned / directed?
No. That's that's a question mark, because none of the other things, like the other things, have like gotten trailers released, but like they never really survived. Like with the Lost Princess project, like we got the first episode completely recorded and edited, but then it was just a lot. And so it just kind of took a back seat, and we started a film project called Haunter of the Woods, which is still here. Y'all have seen it. And we still have 2 of the animated trailers on our channel. But
Lost Princess is still here too.
well, yeah, but as far as projects that we started Haunter of the Woods over on the Lost Princess server, but then we moved it here when we thought it was going to be the only thing that we were going to do, and then we were like, we started kind of falling back again, and then Rachel and Kaya kind of stepped up, and they were like, let's do this, and so we just kind of started fresh. And so now obviously we're doing audio dramas, and then we're still working up to animated projects, which we'll talk about later.
Not bad at all. So definitely experienced.
Yes.
Yeah. I've lost where I am now. 1 second. There you go. Mr. CW Grant himself. How far have you been in voice acting? I know you've already sort of dipped into this one, but a bit more detail.
Yeah, no, this is pretty much the first thing with any kind of studio or any auditioning or all of that. I think probably the very first thing, and there will be no further details or questions, but in elementary school, I was asked to sing "All My Exes Live in Texas" on stage when I was like 7. So
I'm glad you led with the
but yeah, it's just been kind of interesting since then, and I wanted to actually get into voice acting a lot more sooner, but you know, the world, the cards didn't end up. But yeah, now I got a nice little home setup and places to throw in auditions. It's been great. Very glad I did it.
very funky. That's
Lots of Dungeons and Dragons too.
yeah.
Oh,
Always
I
helps.
love D&D. That's the best.
But yeah, that's already not bad. Singing "All My Exes Live in Texas" is certainly something to stick on your CV, mate. Short memory of that. But
Right.
for me, I don't really have much of a story, I won't lie. First thing I did in voice acting was radio, and I did radio forever. And then I went on to bigger bigger radio, then voiceovers for businesses and whatnot, and then I'm here. I've no idea what the first thing I actually did was. It's so long ago now. I was baby. I was so young, so pure. How far I've dropped. But yeah, moving on with different questions. However, I don't want to ask about favorites because, of course, there's no. If you ask an artist their favorite piece of art, every other piece of art they've done, or every other person they've worked for is going to go, "Whoa, it's disgusting." But as a genuine thing, if you had a passion project to do your current job, so directing, art, voice acting, if you had a thing which you could go up to a company and say, "I'd like to help you do this with your cartoon, anime, game, whatever," and you have one project that you love to be in most, what would that be? Starting at the bottom, Miss Tonks, what would you like the most to work with?
I don't know.
That's fair enough.
It's a heck of a question. No,
Yeah, it
you're
is.
absolutely
this is
right.
one definitely to sit and think about. Feel free to change your answer, by the way, halfway through. It's all good.
Circle back around.
Yeah, sounds about right. Do you want to have a think about it for a minute?
I would love work with games. I think it's cool.
That's a good way to be. They're good things to work with. Very cool. Any specific games or any types of games?
No, I like a lot of types of games.
Not bad. I'll probably send you a few links then. However, moving on up, Rachel My RC. If you had
Okay.
one of them, feel free to read yourself a book whilst saying it.
Well, on my childhood, there was this series called Beast Wars Transformers. Don't know if anyone else has heard of it.
Who?
Beast Wars Transformers. Seen all the old style
Oh,
Transformers?
Beast Wars! Yeah!
No, I've never heard of this.
Yes.
I remember Beast Wars.
You remember it?
Yeah, I actually kind of liked the rat character and the tarantula character.
Oh yeah, I kind of
Just
like
to
them.
prove that I actually know what I'm talking about.
By saying like very generally how the characters look.
Well,
I
mean,
like the dinosaur
again,
one.
this is a thing made for kids. Like, they weren't exactly like deep. Never mind. Sorry, continue. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, but anyway, I would love there to be a good game of that because there's been a couple of games and they're not the best. So to remake a game for Beast Wars that's actually good, I would love that.
Not bad.
Yeah. But,
Asking similar
that's
questions then. Any? Oh, sorry.
that's gaming wise. Animation wise, I would love to actually write and direct and everything else. The entire Street Fighter franchise as an animated series.
That'd be quality. Didn't they try that once or twice and it was awful?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few attempts and they've been good, but never the whole series. So, yeah.
Not bad. I've never watched it personally.
I really think that Street Fighter has an underrated lore. Like I really enjoy
Yeah.
lores behind video
Yeah.
games, and Street Fighter 1 is really interesting from what I've seen. So
Yeah.
it'd be really cool.
Amen.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So if we get high up enough to do that, you up for it?
Me?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Let's get the whole squad in on this.
Hey, she knows something very
Come on
enthusiastic.
now, lead with your chest.
I can be
Full throated. Yeah.
I'll be Chun-Li.
No. I call dibs on Chun-Li, but no, actually no. It should be an actual Chinese person who is Chun-Li. Let's be fair.
Yeah, I beg Chun-Li.
Oh. In that case, I'm probably gonna have to do Zangief.
Because
Oh,
you're
you'd be a
Russian?
good Zangief.
Question mark.
Yeah, that was the. No, I'm a large hairy man, is what it is.
Why not
With
both?
strangely like.
You can be Guile.
There you go.
Oh, that was the best. He's the definition of a true American.
Yes, he is. Especially when Jean-Claude Van Damme played him.
Yeah. God damn it, man. The amount of restraint it's taken me not to swear.
You can
Yeah.
do it.
That's cool. So I'm still absolutely confused about the first one, the game. However, that
I'll tag you in
And-
the link.
please do. I'm more and more intrigued the more you talked about it. So I am, send me a link, see what I can find. Yeah, moving on forwards then. Morty, any fancy pieces of media you'd like to be part of?
I have always been a really huge fan of Blizzard's video games.
Yeah.
I find myself going because I play a lot of Hearthstone, so I find myself like saying voice lines from Hearthstone like in my head all the time. So I would love to voice something for a Warcraft thing or something surrounding that. Doesn't necessarily need to be official or anything. Would love to be a part of like a huge fan project or something like that. Something that's would be very, very personal for me, which I've like thought about since I was small. Never Ending Story is by far my favorite children's book. Meant a lot to me when I was small. And I hate that movie that was made in the 80s. That's about the Never Ending Story. I hate that movie so much. So if I had all the money in the world, I would, of course, give stuff to charity and everything like that. But I would love to make a movie I feel like really appreciates everything about Neverending Story in a better way than the movie did that already has been made.
Yeah, that makes
I know
sense.
that's
Not
like
bad
the
at
typical
all.
like, oh, the book is better than the movie, but yeah, that movie really annoys me.
That's not bad, to be honest. That's a good direction to head in. More like a passion project than something else.
Yeah.
Not bad. So moving up one again, Case. How about yourself? What would you like to own, direct, write, and just about every other part of it? To be perfectly honest, you do just about everything here as well as Rachel.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, we all like different things. But I don't know. I think we'd go for like musicals. Like Wicked is is one that we really love. Like it's well written, but like if we got the opportunity to like do a version of it, we probably would. But yeah, like musicals are probably a favorite among a lot of us.
Not bad. Are you thinking more like in-person musicals, or are you thinking more of those sort of like Disney musicals?
Probably starting more like with a Disney movie musical type thing.
Right, understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite cool to be honest. I sounds really weird for me, especially being a metalhead, but I do really, really like musicals music.
Yeah.
So like listening to things, even down to like Has Been Hotel, you know, some of the stuff in those really good. Like looking at, I've forgotten the name of it now. Oh, what's the name of it? Not Jekyll and Hyde. You know, there's the people who did don't worry about it. It's got some really good music in it. I remember it at the worst possible time.
Phantom
Yeah.
of the Opera.
No,
Or
no,
you said
don't worry
Jekyll and
about it.
Hyde.
No,
Phantom of the
no,
Opera.
don't worry. It's really specific, and I can't remember the blooming name of it.
Okay.
I'll remember it at the worst possible time, and I'll shout out in the middle of someone else talking, guaranteed. But yeah, moving from that point, Mr. C.W. Gant himself. What about yourself? Anything you particularly want to work in?
I really always enjoyed video games, anime, and cartoons in general. So really, just any kind of like, I think any studio that as a kid I would have thought like, oh, that's like a legit, whatever. I guess it's sort of just like Funimation would be really cool. Just one of the companies that when I was little pumped out like all the stuff that made my childhood.
Not bad, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, also Jack Black was in Neverending Story 3.
What?
That's like a thing I remember about. Yeah, that's a thing I remember about Neverending Story. Just side note, Jack
Dude,
Black was in that.
I've never
I don't
watched
wanna
them, but I
talk
think I
about
might
it.
now.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's in the past.
Yeah, and oh my God, Has Been Hotel though looks also. There's been a couple of fan dubs that have come on, and every single time I have shot for Alistor or Husk and never gotten it, unfortunately. But
I think
no,
I might
they
have seen
do
you around
some.
then.
Vizzy-Pop does some fun, interesting stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
You think you can buy me with a wink and some cheap booze?
Well,
you can. That's right.
Nice. Also, I found the name of the opera thing. It's Repo at the Opera.
Oh, Repo the Genetic Opera.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Heck yeah. With Anthony Stewart Head and
Paris
Alexa Vega?
Yep. That's
Alexis
the one.
Vega? Something like that? Yeah,
Alexa,
it's a
yeah.
good one.
Very good. I like that. It's clearly
Yeah.
made by theater kids as well.
Oh yeah, well the guy who
100%.
plays the drug dealer is like he was the writer, director, he did the film adaptation from the original play. It was originally a play. I'm a big fan of Repo the Genetic Opera. Let me just throw that one out there now. And I think he actually
Figure that
did
one out.
all or nearly all of the lyrics too.
Damn.
So yeah.
That's impressive.
Damn impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
bad. Not bad too. I guess fine, that's me. Me, I like games and I like cartoons, and I won't lie to you. I have two goals in voices, so I guess three in total. The first that I've already mentioned being, make people smile and be lovely and happy and blah, 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 blah.
Cute.
And cute and lovely. No, but like genuinely to make people, to make people want to listen and like have fun and make fun of me and end up doing really swear wordy bad impressions sort of stuff, or even really good ones. That's really cool. But also, the two sort of things I'd love to work in. One of my all-time goals is get animated, and I have been, but like not.
Like you personally, or be in an
Yeah,
animation?
I've been in animation. I'm also coming. I've got a bunch of NDAs of things I can't talk about, which are included with animations as well, which is cool. So if you see my name in the future, who knows? I might have already foreshadowed it. And spooky. And yeah, the other one is to be really specific. In a RTS game, a real-time strategy game, is one of the units.
Ooh,
I'd love
yeah.
that. Just because it's I've been given the opportunity a couple of times, and I say that I've always been given the opportunity to audition a couple of times, and all the time. Every time I see it, everyone's always like, "Whoa, I really want to do this!" And it's always the really, really good people who do it. And I'm like, "Oh God, there goes my chances." God.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, there's also a lot of times where people don't even hire new people for the smaller voices. For example, there's one I did recently who they've now got one person voicing about 6 different units, but
Yeah.
because they're
Yep.
the
To save
main,
money.
yeah, exactly that. They're
Yeah.
one of the main sort of guys. They pay him a lot anyway, so they're like, right, are you okay with doing these as well? We'll add, I don't know, X amount to your paycheck if you voice these 6 characters. And
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you? You know?
And that ends up costing less than 5 other people. Yeah.
Exactly that. But someday, I'd love to be in an RTS game because I play a lot of them anyway. They're like my childhood, so it's like,
Yeah, again, going back to Blizzard, Warcraft 3, like, oh, this sounds so
Yeah.
fun to do something like that.
Yeah, 'cause I was specifically looking at recently I've been playing a lot of Dawn of War and a lot of Command and Conquer again. And there's there's the whole Space Marine Commanders units and like Gabriel Angelos and all that sort of stuff. I can't do them because I got a blooming cold. But like all those really big, mighty voices, as well as the sort of just generic foot soldier sort of stuff, like all of those. Oh, really
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
I love
They're-
all
they're-
of those
they're
sort
really
of
fun.
things. Mm.
Just finished Horizon Zero Dawn, and yeah, that has some great voice work in it.
Ooh,
There's a lot of color in those games where like even the smallest character has a funny voice or has an interesting
Yeah,
voice.
they
I
seem
really
like
enjoy that.
people.
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm playing a Bethesda game. Stop right there, criminal scum. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Oh, jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that was a little icebreaker. We can probably oh, what is that? Oh.
What?
Sorry. Rachel just sent something. And,
Yeah, but we can
What is
continue
it?
talking.
sorry,
Yeah,
I got
well,
distracted.
It's okay. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
All right. So we are gonna take some time to talk about future projects, and projects that are gonna end in 21 and projects that we're gonna kind of launch in 2021. So obviously Circle, Where the Tracks End, and Where Things Went Wrong are happening now, and there will there will be a second episode of Where Things Went Wrong. Promise. But as of now, Circle is going to end August 2021. Where the Tracks End ends in May, and Where Things Went Wrong ends in February. And probably what we'll do is, so first Saturday in February will be the last Where Things Went Wrong, because we have our first partially animated, if not fully animated, project on Valentine's Day called Promises. I was really hoping that RKA was going to be here so that he could talk about what it is, because he wrote it originally. But on Valentine's Day, we have that. It's kind of like a well, I guess it's like a sad love story. So yeah, that's really cool.
I play the main character in that,
Yeah.
Adam, and it's basically when I read through it, it's a really sweet love story with some horror elements, I would say, but it's not scary by any means. But
Right.
it's tragic love story basically.
Yeah. It's definitely one of our lighter projects.
Which says a lot.
Yeah. And then we also have Operation Carnage, which we plan to launch in May once where the track's end is over. And that is also planned to be a fully animated project. And that first season will go May to August. And basically, Operation Carnage is something that Seb and Cade came up with. And I mean, Seb doesn't really like to get into political stuff, but Cade is like, let's do this. Like, you gotta get your opinion out there. Which not everything obviously is our opinion. We just like, you have to write from multiple perspectives and you have to like understand from different perspectives and that kind of stuff. So like, this is basically, Operation Carnage is basically, the way we originally wrote it is that feeding off of the conspiracy theory that like the Russians are somehow like controlling the government and the you know
Media.
You know.
yeah. So I mean, it's mainly like a US thing, like the like,
USA.
USA.
but just kind of highlighting the craziness that is like when you get so deep into a conspiracy theory that like you are just so you're so bought into it that you'll do literally anything. And
Yeah.
so like it's going to be lots of crime, lots of all of this stuff, and you're going to see it from the perspective of the people who are being manipulated, and you're also going to see it from the perspective of the real people who are manipulating. And so that's going to be really
That's
cool.
right, me.
So, and then we have a couple of smaller, like, they might be short films. They're like little one-off projects. We have Alice in Wonderland Syndrome times Labyrinth. And this is going to be kind of interesting because there's going to be one character who has the AWS. And so basically it's like an altered reality, and I mean, I'm assuming that most people have seen Alice in Wonderland. So like you kind of get a basic idea of what that is. And we're gonna have one character that actually has it, and then and she's like in an orphanage, and she's trying to save the other kids from like horrible like orphanage parents, or like people who like, you know, the people who run the orphanage.
Foster parents, you mean?
Whatever. The
Or-
people who run the orphanage. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So she's trying to she's trying to save them, but everything gets reversed. So she sees everything normally, but the other kids start to see it in like the Alice in Wonderland format. So it's like she can save all of them, but yeah, it's really it's really twisted. Sorry, I'm trying to
That's
read it.
fair.
I'm trying to read it on my phone.
something
and
in
these
Darker
messages
Truth that's
keep-
twisted. Who
Whoa!
knew?
Hello, Kaya. So we've lost and
sorry.
gained someone, by the way.
I
Yeah.
know. That's why I joined now. Sorry, I
Yeah,
had
we
my
have
volume all the
Kaya
way up,
now.
and it scared me.
Yeah,
Um,
you're also all the way up with me. 1 second.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna be quiet for a second, so I can.
Hi, back.
I can't speak right now.
Okay, so Alice in Wonderland times Labyrinth. Oh boy, I just knocked something over. Okay. Is planned to be released in June. And then we have something called Pop Goes the Weasel. And this is actually something that it was a weird random memory that popped up for us about like a time when we were camping. And our dad used to tell this story around the campfire about a person who broke out of basically like a mental health facility, like a broke out of like a mental health facility, and
Okay. It might
what?
hear me. It says I have it muted.
I can hear you. Okay. Pop Goes the Weasel. And he has this, there's like this little jingle, like you all know what a Jack in the Box sounds like.
Yeah.
And so that kind of plays as he's like hiding in the woods, and he like preys on campers. So that is going to be in July. Then we have.
I think I've heard that horror story before. Actually, it's
yeah.
Seems very interesting.
That sounds so far away. July, but it's only what, like
That's
7
it's like
months
6,
away?
7 months. It's weird.
I don't
It's
like
not
it.
that far. Then we have Beware the Ice Cream Man in August.
Same.
Rachel.
I love it. I'm sorry.
Rachel had the best idea for that.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe
Okay,
it?
so okay, it's been a few months since I've read over it, but this is how I remember it. Basically, instead of the usual, well, they're actually evil and he makes ice creams out of innocent children or whatever, he kidnaps kids from abusive homes. So he's actually the good guy. But with a twist.
I thought you. Sorry.
Oh, so he's a good guy, but he's a bad guy.
Yeah, you think he's a bad guy, but he's not. Because these kids are actually trans kids and their parents don't want them to be trans. So he's like, nope, I'm taking them out of there, taking them out of the abusive situation, and they can live their lives. But everyone else thinks that he's the bad guy.
Oh, that's so sad. No, I hate that. I mean, I like it, but that makes me sad. I like the story though. It's good. I thought you said, or it like glitched out, when you said kidnap, and I just heard naps. So it was like, but he naps, and then there was a pause, and I was like, cool, okay, interesting.
I mean, he's got to take a nap sometimes.
Yeah, probably.
Sounds
It's
tired.
probably tiring, kidnapping children.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't
when
know.
he takes a nap, the jingle and the truck drive themselves by the power of the Kagome.
Right. the power of the circle of dead children. We're gonna bring all the projects together. Okay. Okay. Next
Yeah,
one.
because that's the thing. All these projects are in the same universe. You know, like how all of Stephen King's works are in the same universe. That's what.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you never
apparently
seen
they are.
that?
That's the theory, anyways.
You've never
Like,
seen
there's, like,
that
little
theory where they
small
like
Stephen
connect
King.
every
Easter egg kind of
single
things.
Stephen
Yeah, who is
King
he?
project?
What do you mean?
That's so cool.
I'm joking.
Okay.
I was being sarcastic. I know who Stephen King
I wasn't. I don't know who he is.
He is the one
Should
who
I-
wrote
really?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
He's
guy.
like
Right.
the most
And The Shining.
well-known
and
thriller horror writer,
yeah.
author.
Yeah, I don't care about any hate I get for this, but I don't really
Okay.
And he's also really
binge-read
funny. Weirdly enough, he's
mystery.
really
Yeah,
funny.
neither am I.
I read a lot.
Okay.
Great.
Like Stephen King has been in a lot of comedies because he's actually a really funny actor, which is cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right. Am I good to move on? Okay.
Yeah.
Next one, Dead Flowers. This one's kind of interesting. We are thinking of making it another audio drama. And just having like a slowly animated, like living flower at the beginning, but like by the end of the episode, it just kind of wilts. But just basically it's a serial killer who really likes flowers. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that, because if I say any more, I'll probably just say it all.
That's a mood.
Yeah. So that's in September, and that'll go till next January. Sorry, my dad just literally stormed down the stairs. Okay.
It's okay. I get that.
So then we have Haunter of the Woods. We are going to try again.
Third
October.
time's
We're gonna
the
try
charm,
again and we're gonna do
Third
it.
time is the charm.
Yes.
It'll happen.
We are going to release Haunter of the Woods in October. And this one,
This is now recorded.
right. And so this is about a girl who has she's plural. She's not diagnosed because she's just never had access to the right kind of help. But over the years, her alters have like made enemies with her group of best friends.
Wait, I think I'm lost. I'm not quite sure. What?
The person has DID, I'm guessing. Dissociative
What's
identity disorder.
I don't know what
Yes.
that is. I'm very sorry.
It's
Have you seen Split?
No?
That is not an accurate
Okay.
representation, but
Have
No,
you-
but I
have
mean
you-
it's the most well known, I
Words.
feel.
Have you heard of multiple personality disorder? That's
Yeah.
that's what
No,
really
but
it
okay.
used to be called.
That's okay.
People compare it to schizophrenia, even though they're not similar really in any way.
yeah.
But I mean,
I won't lie to you. I really don't know much about that sort of stuff.
That's
Well,
okay. I will be
okay.
talking about it at the
We
end
are
of
going
this
to
stream.
probably talk about it a little later.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
That's more of a learning experience for me than a place for me to talk.
Okay, real
Also,
quick,
I'm not
before I-
racist.
sorry, my voice died. And also I heard someone talking. Very lightly.
Go
I
ahead.
think it was Rachel. Okay. Who's the Irish one? Or Scottish? I'm sorry, I don't know the difference. Or may I do, but I don't.
Shoot. Kina?
No, not in the
No,
on
yeah.
the call. I hear someone with an accent of some. It sounds either Scottish or Irish.
Oh,
Like
wait,
a very
what?
slight accent.
Who?
I don't know. I don't know. Never mind. Ignore me.
Are you
I'm
talking
sorry.
about me?
Oh, I thought you were talking about
I don't know.
Are you talking about me because you can't tell the
No,
difference
it's not-
between
no.
Irish and Scottish and
Is it
English?
me?
I know that. It's either
Do I sound
Morty.
slightly Irish to you?
Maybe. I don't know.
I am from
Lord.
Scandinavia, which is not close to Ireland.
I-
or
Not
Scotland.
really close, but
I
that
made
might
a
be what
joke
it
about
is.
one of the old voice actors, and that's it.
That was the chords. That's what I'm hearing.
Chords is Scottish Reyes, if that is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then yes, yes, that's who it is. I'm sorry. Continue.
If you've listened to the
Ugh.
bloopers.
Okay.
Yeah, listen to the bloopers, by the way.
Yeah. We have the November call audio available, and we'll have a little bit of a December
Oh, God.
call audio. And we'll definitely have a January
Oh gosh.
funny call audio. Anyway, talked about Haunter, Suitcase Murders. That's the last one for 2021. That'll be October to December. And this one is more of like an investigation into murders that have happened, and kind of like I'm still not entirely sure if we're gonna do it audio drama or animated. But this is kind of a like, I mean, the title says it. You find a body in a suitcase, and you're like, what happened to them? So that's kind of what that's gonna be. And that's gonna take obviously a little bit more time to like research stuff and like know how to write it and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is that's what our 2021 looks like. And now it's all recorded and it's going to be on the YouTube channel, so we can go back and listen when we entirely forget what we said today.
So now you have to do it. That's the rule.
You better.
Yes, we will. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely will.
Yeah,
Motivation at its finest.
yeah. Well, that's okay. We will most definitely forget that this happened. So,
Honestly, though, yes.
That's kind of part of it, I feel like. So you should listen back to it afterwards.
yeah.
That's what they've got me and Kite here for.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
like bag's not me.
Sorry, no, that's why we have you. I'm not reliable when it comes to remembering things. Apparently I wore a shirt the other day, and I don't remember wearing it. But
You know, it's usually
sorry.
good to wear a shirt sometimes.
No,
I don't remember wearing a shirt.
You should wear a shirt.
I
in
thought I
winter.
went out without one.
you know what I'm saying.
Okay. So, are we ready to get real? Okay.
No, I'm never ready.
Nobody's ever said that.
No, I mean, me neither, and I'm the one who has to. So, but okay. So,
I mean, if it gets difficult for you, I can also I have experience with talking about that in other situations. So like if you get uncomfortable, I can do it. So
okay. So obviously one of the goals of this channel is to highlight mental health issues, and to talk about just like different mental health issues, how they affect different kinds of people, what it can look like. And obviously in these projects it's going to be exaggerated, and we all know that. And it's never like when we wrote Haunter of the Woods, we're like, we are plural. So we're writing about a girl who suffers the same as we do, but she ends up like killing people. But obviously we're not like, we're not, but
do you want to explain a little bit
yeah.
how dissociative identity disorder works?
Yeah, I will. So
because there is a lot of misconceptions about it, and a lot of people who don't either think it's a real thing or who don't know a lot about it. And I feel
Yeah,
like
I
it's
don't even-
really good
don't
and
even-
important to
yes.
to address it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing until like 5 minutes ago, so any explanation would be handy.
Yeah.
So
People who say it's
yeah.
like schizophrenia make me mad, but it happens a lot. Sorry, continue.
So dissociative identity disorder is basically it's a trauma-based disorder. It usually happens in early childhood or while your personality is still developing, and it happens in direct response to a trauma. So personally, our first one happened when we were 6. And then it's just been like a kind of snowball effect to the point where we have 9 different people in our system. So basically it's just it happens at an early age. It's your psyche kind of just fragments when you experience a trauma. It just kind of takes that and puts that into a different person.
Yeah,
And so
it's a way for your body to cope with
right,
really difficult things,
right.
right?
It is a coping mechanism. And so it just and once it starts, um I mean, it still takes something really serious to make more alters form, but once it starts, it doesn't really stop until your personality would stop um, forming. And so,
Which is basically never, right?
well, yeah, it is basically never. And so it's, um, and it has a lot of comorbidities as well. It's depression, anxiety, dissociative amnesia. Like Seb, our host, he just one day he woke up and he didn't remember any kind of personal information. He didn't recognize his room, didn't recognize his family, didn't know his own name or birthday, or anything like that. So um, he suffers with dissociative amnesia. The rest of us don't. The rest of us all have our specific memories intact. And so we kind of have to like go around him when we discover something that like we know is going to hurt him, but like he like we can't say anything. But so I said anxiety, depression, dissociative amnesia, PTSD, or CPTSD, which usually happens when there's like an ongoing trauma. It's complex, so it's happens for months or years, or something that's just constant. And a lot of us have had those experiences that have made us like who we are as a specific person in this system. What else?
I can if you want me to, I can try to like, because you're sharing a lot of like personal experiences, which is really nice, but
Yeah,
I can try to like explain it really like more simply, maybe, if you're okay with that.
yeah, that might be better, but yeah.
No, it's really good to hear your personal experiences as well, but um I have a lot of friends with dissociative identity disorder as well. Um, so, uh, which we will talk about later. I have autism, so I've like tried to simplify um, what it means to have dissociative identity disorder in my brain. So I may be able to explain it to maybe someone like Quartz, for example, to make it maybe even easier to understand. Basically,
I am quite simple.
yeah, you're basic. No. um, like Kay said, when some people who are predisposed to this disorder, usually through um, their genes, experiences a traumatic experience, their personality basically breaks in multiples. So, of course, there's still one body, but there's multiple personalities in that body. And it's really interesting how you say that only one person in your system experiences memory loss, because I have a friend where every time they wake up or they shift between these personalities, uh, that personality has no memory of what happened prior, but that may not be like, or that may not happen for everyone, which it seems practical because my friend, she has to, or they have to write down everything that happens um in a book, so
Yep.
the person who wakes up in the body can read it and see what happened previously.
Yeah.
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 So basically, there is one person or one body, but multiple personalities split in that body, and you switch between them. And like Kay said, it's coping mechanism based on traumatic experiences that have happened in their lives, which is how both new personalities come up and like
It's
which is like you were going to say something, Rachel?
yeah, it's not like personalities though, they are actual people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
like
only
This is why I say like multiple personality disorder is it doesn't exist anymore. It's like saying, oh, there's this dinosaur called a brontosaurus. There was never a brontosaurus. It was always a patasaurus. There was never a multiple personality disorder.
yeah.
They are people. And honestly, I'm certain that it's brain splitting as well. Because I don't know if you want to mention about some of your sensory differences as well between your alters, but yeah, it
yeah.
skill
They're
sets,
all
abilities,
distinctive. They're all different. They have
it's
different
all
experiences and all of that. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all the people in there are so different. They may as well have different brains. So
Yeah.
maybe they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically your psyche breaking up, like not, I guess, yeah, like breaking apart. It's your psyche, like, um, breaking off to deal with the pain that you're experiencing. Like right now, I'm Sam. I'm 45. I'm older than the body by 20 years. And like I've dealt with it. I'm here as a person who has dealt with what everyone else has experienced. And I'm here as a protector and as a person that can like talk about this. Like, I mean, everyone else is super anxious on the inside, which is making this a little bit difficult. But like, I'm I'm a protector of the system overall, and that's my job. I'm an apparently normal part, which means that I am not really attached to the trauma, but like I have processed it and I know what happened, so I can be more empathetic to everyone else who still deals or like has flashbacks or panic attacks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we all have different like like anxiety thresholds. I mean, all of us are triggered by different things. All of us have different. Some of us even have like disabilities. I mean, Seb is blind. Catherine is deaf, and Emmett is mute. And obviously, we are
That's what I mean.
physically none of those things, but because of the trauma that those specific people experience, they lost those certain things.
Yeah.
And so everyone, like Rachel was saying, everyone's different in like how they are presented. And
Yeah. They're almost different in a physical sense as well,
yeah,
which is
Yeah, that's why I'm sure. That's why I'm sure the brain breaks as well.
yeah,
But it's not like in Split, where you like grow new muscles and you grow 30 feet tall.
No.
Don't let anyone convince
There's-
you. Any people who are
there's-
listening, this is live, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's-
Yes. Don't let people convince you that is based, I think, on a comic book, or it's supposed to be
Right.
like a superhero movie. No.
There
Okay, I'm done.
there are no physical changes. Just like
I mean, it'd be cool if there were physical changes, and we could metamorphosize into how we actually want to look.
that would
But
be nice.
yeah,
The thing with mental disabilities and mental disorders is that the brain has such control over your body that it can actually make physical differences in you because
Yes.
it has
Yeah.
such a control over everything.
Yeah.
It's like
for
some
instance,
people, sorry, with
Yeah.
or I could be wrong, but like I've heard that like some people with the ID, one personality will have an allergy, but another will not, because that's all based on how the brain and body, how the body reacts to how the brain responds to something that's taken in, and how it's
Yeah.
all based on the brain and like chemical stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, no, you're
so
right. You're right, because
that's actually funny that you say that. Sorry, Rachel. I just like Seb
it's
is
okay.
like deathly allergic to cats, but none of the rest of us are.
Exactly. Boom. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and it's just and like it, yeah, it's just so weird because we actually I think Seb asked the question on our Twitter because we were like, what the heck is going on? Because like none of the rest of us have like super strong seasonal allergies, but Seb like walks outside without taking an antihistamine and like nose spray and he's dying. So it's like what's the deal?
Well, we
Yeah.
all know of the concept of mind over matter, but in Seb's case, it may be the opposite. That instead of your mind
Yeah.
taking over and helping you, like for example, if you're really convinced that, for example, electricity doesn't hurt, then you can go through the pain. But with Seb, it's the opposite, where like his body experiences these things because his mind is convinced that he is allergic to them and therefore he has reactions.
The
Yeah.
world's fighting back.
Yeah.
But also back to the amnesia thing. The dissociative amnesia is specifically like in relation to like personal information. So like when Seb woke up that one day and didn't remember anything, that was just that one day, and then Cade was kind of helping him along and like reminded him of it of our given name, and like reminded him of like how we're supposed to be like what like how we're supposed to like what's happening, what's going on, like we're going into high school, like this is what's happening. You're not going to remember any of your friends, but that's okay because I'm going to help you, that kind of thing. But we do experience a little bit of memory loss between switching. And we did,
Okay.
and we do have a notebook that we have started like writing down what we've done, especially if we've made progress on like a specific project that we're working on, and like if we've gotten new assignments and that kind of stuff. We do write all of that stuff down because obviously that's important. We can't just be like, I don't know, we can't just like throw someone out there and be like, hey, good luck. Like, you don't know anything that's happening, but you got this, you know?
Yeah.
And I know this differs between everyone or people with DID, but like, does your system have any control over the shifts, or like if you're really struggling, like you said, like a lot of you has problems talking about this, but now you're the protector, you come out, you can talk about it. Does your system have like any control over like who is presenting um here and now and like tomorrow, stuff like that?
Um, well, it really all depends on what kind of state the front person is in. Usually, like when we're working on projects and like Catherine has to record some lines, usually Ariel will be in the right side of the front, and she will let Catherine come up on the left to do her stuff and then go back. But we
Switching back and forth.
so well, so this is kind of weird, and a lot of people have said that they don't know what this is, but as I said, I'm Sam, and Ariel is my other half, and we are lateralized in the front, so I'm always
So
on the left side.
co-presenting? Or
No, I think I said earlier she got triggered by something, and so she's not here today. But so I always take the left, and she's always on the right. We can like one of us can step back, and another one of us can like take up that spot, but we can't. Neither of us can take up the full front of the headspace. So anyway, as far as controlling who switches in, we do have a lot of control. We've been doing this or living with this for 10 years as far as we know. So
yeah, it was probably more difficult at the start.
yeah. So it's just like Ariel and I can trigger like an emergency switch, like if someone's having a really hard time and like can't get it together enough to just push through, we can literally like rip them out of the front and go like without having to go through the whole process of like deciding who's going to switch in and all that kind of stuff. But usually when we switch, it's really disruptive. It's like falling
It
asleep.
is.
Yeah, it's like falling asleep. Like when somebody wants to front or somebody has to because another person is like, I'm about to go into something that would really be triggering for me. I need somebody else who's more fitted to do this to kind of help me out. And so usually we have to like if we're at work and that happens, we usually have to go and like hide in the bathroom because like obviously we it's really disruptive. So basically we fall asleep and then it's kind of like blacking out and
Yeah.
then we switch out like that. Sometimes it can just take a few seconds, sometimes it takes a few minutes, it can take hours, and sometimes it's like a partial switch until we can like get to some place where we can like pretend that we're taking a nap and then like kind of let everything settle. But yeah.
Yeah. That's how I've heard it explained before.
Yeah.
That you have this partial blackout, which is like why a lot of switching, especially or with my friend at least, happens when they're going to sleep, and then the next day it's a switch. That's probably easier to do than while you're awake. In a way, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely is easier to just like switch out while while you're asleep because like uh half of the job is done. But it's just like we like Seb, for example, has off the charts anxiety levels. Like his
Poor Seb. He
his
struggles with a lot of stuff, I feel like.
yeah. But it's toxic to the whole headspace. Like when he comes to the front or when he comes close to the front because he's like nervous about something, it will just consume everything. And like we love him. He's great and he's also our host, so we can't be like no, you're gonna we're gonna block you, which you should never block a head bait or an altar. Don't do that. But we really do try to like work with him, but it's really hard because he gets really anxious because he has holes in his memory, and so when he feels like he's remembering something but he can't grasp that, it just makes it worse. And so he just it's constant, and like it's just something that like we have to deal with, and that's why he doesn't front much anymore, because it's just constant and overwhelming. But like he and Cade are like best friends. But Cade absolutely does not do anxiety. Like they are super I mean they're a younger protector in the system. They're 18. But they they're just like, so they experience anxiety. They still have like trauma and stuff, but they're so polar opposites, but they get along so well, and it's good for Seb to have someone like that to kind of calm him. But shoot, I forgot where I was going.
Opposites attract, you know.
Right, right. Yeah, but at this point, Cade's like a younger sibling, but um, yeah, I'm still not sure how like this whole thing happened. I know Cade created us, Sam and Ariel, as like a full system guardian, and that kind of like took away their job, except for like Axel and Catherine. But they're still like friends with and support Seb whenever he needs it. But yeah, it's just kind of twisted.
Me being me, I always like seeing the positive sides of a lot of things in life. Do you feel like there's like anything positive with being able to switch away or um like turn to someone else when things get difficult, like someone without DID can't do? Do you feel like there's anything good in that?
um I mean, yeah, it's definitely good. um I mean, there's lots of people to talk to and kind of work stuff out with. I mean, sometimes some of us will like kind of go away, and like not really be available so much. Um, and sometimes when somebody's experiencing something that's really stressful, like Axel a few weeks ago, like I guess right before Thanksgiving, they had this really bad nightmare, and then they just disappeared. And of course, naturally, Seb was like, "Oh, I knew where they were the whole time. It's fine." But like, it had the rest of us panicking because we were like, "We need to help them. Where are they?" Um, and so, like, sometimes when a person is experiencing something from their own trauma, and is experiencing like flashbacks or panic attacks or something like that, it's still embarrassing, and it's still like, I really don't want to talk about it, even if it's with people who know exactly what you've experienced, because you're all living in the same body. You've all, like, even if you feel separated from it, you've all felt it. You've all dealt with it. You've all like
Yeah,
been
exactly.
there. So,
Everyone has the same body, right?
yeah,
So you all feel the effects if something happened.
yeah. But it's still just like that moment of, I can't believe I'm still freaking out about this. this is something that happened like 3 years ago, but it's
I
perfectly
feel like that
normal.
is something a lot of people can also relate to. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's you feel like it, like something that happened a long time ago shouldn't affect you, but I mean, it still does, and that's is normal. Or I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like it's normal. Some people might not,
Yeah,
might argue that it's not, but
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it is.
it's a valid feeling.
yeah, I mean, it is. And probably, like, I mean, PTSD can be, air quotes, cured, as like you work through your trauma and you don't have all of the symptoms anymore. Like, you don't have as bad flashbacks or panic attacks or everything else that comes with PTSD. But like, you
And still
still,
happened.
right, but you still like know that it happened. And if you're not ready for something to be mentioned that you've experienced, it can really take a negative turn. And that happens to us a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Something that really annoys me is what has become really popular on the internet, which is like joking around with like, oh, getting triggered and everything like that. When like those who joke about that don't actually know how terrible triggers can be. I'm
Yeah.
really lucky myself that I don't have a lot of triggers, but I've been together with, and had a lot of friends who have really serious triggers where it's like full mental block and full
Yeah.
blackout when something is done or something is mentioned, and it's not something to just be like taking lightheartedly, like joking around with, especially not when it's in a way which is like making fun of people who experience and have experienced a lot of terrible things.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. I feel like
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah. And I mean, it really honestly just takes the smallest thing. For some of us, um, I mean, one thing, uh, just for like an anxiety, like not a full blown like panic attack, because that would be getting into really specific stuff that we're not going to talk about. Um,
obviously
but like, um, but like people licking their fingers, that is absolutely
Yep, same for
something
me.
that sends, uh, specifically Seb and Axel and Eli into a like anxiety. Like, they can be just perfectly fine, like base level, which is laughable for Seb, but a base level of anxiety, and then like the mom will like lick her fingers and it'll just send them through the roof. Just
it's is it the sound of it?
it's the sight and sound. Um,
Okay. But I was asking
Um,
because you
think
mentioned that Seb
well,
was blind,
yes,
right?
yes. And that so that leads us to another thing, because Seb is blind, but obviously, um, we are not out in person. Um, and so we have to find ways that we can, um, just be normal. um,
I
which,
get what you mean, yeah.
yeah, so
Sounds really difficult.
it does. It is. Sorry.
It does sound like,
It
yeah,
really
really
is.
hard.
Um, because I mean, it's just, especially like, that's why Emmett and Catherine don't get to front, even though, like, obviously they're perfectly fine other than being deaf or mute. Like, they're learning sign language. They're they'll they're good. They can front, but they can't. and they don't want
Yeah,
to
it's
because
yeah, and I totally understand them there,
yeah,
Mhm.
especially when like if the system is not out for everyone, which is another like can of worms, which is really difficult. I
Right.
bet. I feel like it's definitely or would definitely be really difficult for them to be themselves, just out and about.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, continue. Go. You go. That's what
Um,
I don't know.
But honestly, we would like to work up to that point. But also we're just taking it one step at a time because this isn't like a hey, we have this thing and you should all like give us more attention or like everyone should know about it and whatever. Like it's to
For
bring
sure.
awareness. It's not like this is not fun. We are not
No,
having fun.
and a lot of people have
Exactly.
preconceptions about it as well, which makes it more difficult. Like me with my autism, I that's not the first thing I tell people, and I feel like the idea is like way higher than that again because it's people don't know a lot about it, and it is a difficult concept to understand for a lot of people. And so I feel a lot for you for having that difficult task.
I
Yeah,
feel
But it's
like
really
in
good
the
that you're
sorry.
talking about it here.
yeah. Well,
Um, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I feel like it's not always like with some people it can be not obvious, but you can tell that maybe they might be on the spectrum with autism. And with others you can't like honestly, Morty, I wouldn't be able to tell that you were autistic in any way. And
Well,
my
that's
well,
partly, I feel like, because people have preconceptions of what someone with
yes,
autism
exactly.
looks or sound like.
Yes.
Yeah.
My boyfriend, I don't know, it's complicated. I'll just say that.
Your
Um,
person,
yes. He's great. I love him so much. It's not working. But he's on the spectrum as well, and he's not like he's on the spectrum, but it's not like
Super
he
obvious.
it's yes, it's not obvious. Like he said that he had Asperger's. Oh, well, I don't know. He said it like in a group, and I was not floored, but I don't think I held my reaction very well because I could not tell. I didn't like I can't. It's it can be obvious, not obvious, but it can be um you can sometimes tell, but it's not always a thing. And I feel like if you say that up front, or say you have something mentally, and you say it like you introduce yourself with it, then I feel like it can be people tend to treat you differently.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is
And
Yeah.
why I don't do it.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
I don't walk
Um,
up to people and say, "Hi, we're we're 9 different people, and you're gonna meet us over the course of however long you know us."
People will be like,
exactly.
"What?
Yeah.
Huh?"
No, yeah, that would that would also
I
just be
also
really weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Like it's not like it's necessary for everyone to know either. Like
no,
that's also an
yeah.
important
right,
thing.
right.
I feel like though that's part of why we're doing it though. You just said that would be weird. I feel like part of why we're doing this is to make it not weird. Like to say like, hey, I
Yeah.
have um I have multiple I didn't know. Okay, I'm gonna need to like figure out my words.
Plural.
I have DID.
Singular. Singular.
And um and have it not become a trend, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I feel like being
Oh
edgy and
gosh,
being I'm not gonna get like too into it. I'm not saying
I
that
know what you
it's
mean.
yes, like
Yeah.
some people cut for attention, not to like trigger warning, I guess I should have said that earlier. But they do things for attention. I'm not saying that there's not something up, but at the same time, like most of my friends in middle school were quote unquote suicidal in some way. And I'm not saying they weren't, but I feel like it has become like, I don't know, I say trend because that's the word I use for it, but
No, for sure.
it's
Like,
becoming less
Yeah.
stigmatized. And people are like, oh, this is how I feel that way too. So I must have whatever this is. Like, I must have depression, or I must have anxiety, even though really you just get sad sometimes and get down, or you just get really, really anxious at times.
I have a good example of that.
Okay.
Not regarding depression or anything like that, but regarding identity, because being transgender has, of course, which is really good, become like there's a lot less stigmatization to come out.
That
But
is a
what
really
has
good
happened
example,
there?
honestly.
What has
I know what you're
happened
going
there
with there.
is that there's become this like wave of people who are like, I feel a little different than the other girls or the other boys. I must be trans. Which
Maybe
is
you're
like
just a tomboy. Or
so
maybe you're
annoying.
just a little bit feminine, but a guy. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
mean,
And
yes.
which is like you should be allowed to feel a little feminine or a little masculine, even though you're a guy or a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you should be allowed to experiment and just say, we can just say, okay, I'm this now, and then after a few weeks, you might be like, no, probably not, and you
Yeah,
should be allowed to
exactly.
experiment like that.
Of
I view it
course.
kind of like a relationship in some way.
Okay.
Or like I say, okay, or a crush, I guess. So you see this thing and it's really attractive, like, oh, like cool, maybe I like them or maybe I'm into that. But really, like after a couple months or maybe even a couple years, you realize, oh, that wasn't really, I'm not into that. Or that's not really what was happening. Maybe it was just like a spur of the moment thing. And it happens most of the time. Or I see it because I'm around people who are in age range, but I feel like it's mostly middle to high schoolers who are or not mostly, but there are lots of middle and high schoolers who are saying, "Hey, I'm trans," and I mean that's okay, but there's just a suspicious amount who are, and I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying like it's becoming like I have a friend who in middle school she went through a phase when she was what was it I can't think I think agender or bi I don't know bigender I can't think I don't remember words or the terms but like at certain times she would be this person and other times she would be like one at some point she would be a guy, one point she would be a girl. And that went on for maybe a month. And then she was like, okay, no, it was just a phase. And that was in middle school. I feel like some people I feel like that's common with being trans. No, okay, no. It's not common. I feel like it's because it's becoming less stigmatized and people can feel more comfortable with it.
My main problem with it, which is why I brought it up in the first place, is that
Sorry, I
these
went on a ramble.
the processes for someone to get a transition or to get hormones gets more difficult because there's this wave of people who because they feel a little different, they jump to, hey, I'm trans, which makes a lot of medical professionals skeptical about everyone because at least here in Norway, I don't know how it is in
Oh yeah,
United
it's like that in
States
America
or
too.
Great Britain, but here you have to go through this very specific process, which can take years before you get even hormones. And a lot of that is because there has been a lot of people who um, you're allowed to make a mistake, but who tried to transition and then regretted and then came back. And because of that, they're like super skeptical of everyone, even though a lot of my friends who are trans are really obviously a male or really obviously a female, but they don't get accepted as that by the medical professionals because of this wave of people who are like, "Oh, I'm trans," even though
Mm-hmm.
not really.
Exactly.
But of course, you're allowed to
Yeah,
experiment. I'm not saying anything against that, but
Just
yeah.
don't
I
go
think it
to the
should be like
extremes.
should be allowed to experiment, and that shouldn't impact people who want to
Mm-hmm.
do it full time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it's called
But
experimenting for a reason. You don't go
Like,
and
for instance,
go
to
full
use
blown until you know what's going on.
because use an example. I was allowed. I had the opportunity to do a week's taster course at university because I thought, I'm kind of interested in it. I might want to do it. Just for an experiment, I'll go ahead and do this week's taster course. Now, it would be like university saying, well, I'm not sure you're good enough because this person one time did a week's taster course and decided not to go to university. Like, people should be allowed to say they're trans for a year, and then that shouldn't impact other people who are trans full time from getting
yeah,
their
Yeah,
needs met,
but
that
the
wasn't
problem
what
is that
I didn't mean to
it
like.
does affect those people as well, which
It,
I
it
guess
does.
it's not really their fault, of course. But I really hope that the process gets easier and that there are more and
Yeah,
more professionals who know who uh, are clearly a male or clearly a female and who are just experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
at least to me, who knows these people personally, it's obviously like super obvious that of course they're a male or of course they're a female.
yeah, but it's not always super obvious until you finally realise that, oh yeah, I am trans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course,
And
Yeah.
I
of
didn't
course.
mean to make it if it sounded like when I was like going on rambling, I didn't mean to make it sound like that. I think yes, experimenting, that's how you figure out what works for you and what doesn't. And I think that people they like to take it to extremes right away. And I don't agree with that personally.
And like especially like people who are like become trans quote unquote for attention. I can't stand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there are people like that.
There are, yeah. There's
Like
always
for
gonna be
example, Trisha Paytas, for example. Hmm. Yeah.
um, well,
I
that's
feel like
okay.
sorry, go ahead.
Well, were you going to continue the conversation?
Not really.
Okay.
I might have to go in a second.
Yeah, I probably do too, because I'm expected back at work. But I wanted to say that that's kind of interesting talking about like being transgender, all the different types of what you what you could be, because like in a system, um, there's lots of different things that every person could be.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
um,
For sure.
so I mean, Seb is trans. Um, Emmett, Cade, Emmett and Cade are non-binary. Axel is actually agender, but nope. They are also 15 and might snap out of that. I don't know, but that's okay if they don't. Um, and
I
then
I wonder about something actually.
yeah,
Because like you said, the host is a transgender man, right?
yes,
Uh is it possible to have people who are male but not trans in a system with a feminine body? Is that
Yes.
possible?
And that
Yes.
Okay.
The word
so
I've heard is detragender.
oh, that's interesting. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so there's me, Sam, and and then also Eli. Oh, and also Alex. We're all cis men.
Yeah.
In system. Um,
Oh
and then
no, cis man trapped in a feminine body.
I know
I can see the
it's
documentary now.
right. Um, actually, we've been watching a lot of Multiplicity and Me recently, and I don't know if you've ever watched her stuff, but her system is all guys, which is really interesting. But yeah, we've been watching that recently. But yeah, Ariel and Catherine are cis women slash girl. um, Catherine's only 10, so but yeah, so we're kind of all over the board. Same with sexualities
Makes
too.
sense.
But yeah,
That's normal from other people I know who have it. So
right. Yeah. I just I thought that was kind of interesting, and also just to kind of bring it back. But yeah, that's a little bit about dissociative identity disorder and personal experiences with it. And actually, well, actually, never mind. So I think that that's a good place to wrap it up. um,
Awesome. I have to go. So,
this, I think that I've said all I can really say without digging any deeper about living as a system, like with all of our amnesia and like how it works to switch and anxiety and all that kind of stuff that we
no.
experience.
I mean, you said a lot already. So
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was really enlightening and stuff. A good learning
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
I guess.
We hope that whenever anybody chooses to watch this almost 3-hour video, they will also find enlightenment from what we've discussed. Because, I mean, we talked about some pretty important things. And
If you last that long, kudos to you.
yeah.
Well done to anyone who's lasted this far.
I don't have the patience to watch 3 hours.
But yeah, I think that is where we're going to end it. Thank you, anyone who has been watching and is not currently in the call. And thank you to anyone else who may be viewing this later. And we hope you stick around to see what else we have coming up in the studio.
a lot of
And
exciting
if you
stuff,
have
I
a
must
friend
say.
who you think
Yeah.
might like our stuff, feel
Yeah.
free to share it. Everything helps.
Yeah.
Please share far and wide.
All right.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay.